I want to start by saying thank you to everybody who left a comment on our last video, If Fencers Trained Like Boxers. I really appreciate that, and there were some good comments. A couple of them in particular, I think are astute enough that they deserve a deep dive into them, and that's what I want to do. Let me read them verbatim here, if I can. One viewer says, one of the big drivers for why boxers spend so much more time punching a bag as opposed to a person is that if you start hitting each other at full force, you're going to start racking up concussions. If two fencers go at it, the comparative risk of injury is fairly low. And another viewer says, boxers might spar more if they didn't have to worry about concussions and the like. Well, I agree. I think that's absolutely right. If there are no negative consequences for bad or just plain stupid behavior, then people tend to repeat that bad or just plain stupid behavior. So the question isn't so much what would boxers do if it were safe, but what should they do? Let me approach it this way. I've probably said 100 times before that boxers have two advantages over fencers. And those advantages are pain and fear. I don't know if you know this, but getting hit hurts. Getting hit in the head hurts. Getting hit in the face hurts. Getting hit in the body hurts. Even getting hit on your shoulders hurts. So every time you spar with somebody, it's going to hurt. See, if you get hurt in fencing, that's a freak accident. If you get hurt in boxing, that's just another day at the office. So it's an inherent part of boxing. Because you know it's going to hurt, every time you step into the ring to spar, you have to overcome that fear of pain. And you also know that every time you get in the ring to spar, it's possible that you could get hurt bad, real bad. So that's the pain and fear advantage. I say it's an advantage because pain and fear keep you anchored to reality, makes you respect what you're doing. You could say that boxers have retained their built-in bullshit detector. In boxing, if you want to go in the ring and stand there with your hands by your knees and quack like a duck, there's no rule that says you can't do that. If you want to put your hands behind your back and hop on one foot, there's no rule that says you can't do that. If you want to throw a jab and drop your left hand down to your knee afterwards, there is no rule that says you can't do that. But you know what happens if you drop your left hand after you jab? You get this. That's your built-in bullshit detector working. Now, the trouble with fencing is, our built-in bullshit detector is broken. And all the WD-40 and duct tape in the world ain't gonna fix it. If you want to go on the strip and hop on one foot and quack like a duck, there's no rule that says you can't do that. But there's also no consequences, because the swords aren't sharp. If you get hit, it's not going to hurt. Oh, it might bruise your ego, but you're not going to need stitches. So that's why fencers do bullshit things, because they don't have any bullshit detector. Here's another Here's another comment. This viewer says, I never fenced, but I think it's not different from boxing. It's the same sweet science. Hit without getting hit. Yeah, man, I could give you a big sloppy kiss for that one. I agree 100%. Fencing and boxing should be exactly the same, to hit without getting hit. Unfortunately, because our built-in bullshit detector is broke, in fencing, we've sort of devolved from hit without getting hit to hit before you get hit. And I think that's insane. In fact, we have a whole video on that. I'll link that down below. So I would say, if you're a fencer and you want to train like a boxer, the first thing you have to do is change your attitude. You have to anchor yourself back in reality. You have to repair your built-in bullshit detector. You have to treat those swords as if they were sharp. That, again, every touch is a wound, and any wound could be grave bodily injury or death. If you stay connected to that reality, if you treat the swords as if they were sharp, then you will value a perfect defense. You will protect yourself at all times. You will appreciate how important it is to practice and practice and practice the fundamentals until they're perfect.